as I always said, this is a good feeling to be alive and well. It's a good feeling to produce another video to you. It's a good feeling to give you guys more knowledge of how to go about, overcoming your struggles, overcoming your testimonies. You understand? Nonetheless, let us kick things off. So we're here with Miss, I call her Miss Praise, of course. Yes, but her name is Sister McLean. So Sister McLean, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I can see that you're doing great. So let us kick things off. Tell us a little about your childhood. How was your childhood growing up? Was it a rich one, a poor one? How was your childhood growing up?
Okay, so growing up, I grew up in a very poor environment.
Yeah.
I grew up on a weekend, and my father, if it's dumpling and butter, it's dumpling and butter.
That's right.
You understand me? So I remember when I went to Cuba to study, and I saw all the families and they were having all these extravagant dinners and stuff. I felt so horrible because Christmas Day is dumpling and butter,
Wow.
because it's that my father has it that I have to work with.
I never really have a lot of experience with the dumpling and butter things or concern. Understand? Because I grew up with this kind of mother. She always tried her best to go out there. You understand? I think I actually remember one time though, we really wanted to try what the dumpling and the butter was like. You understand? Because we never grew up like that. You understand? Some persons will grow up on even bush tea and everything. I never grew up on that. I used to the RX, even though I was coming from a poor background, a poor family. You understand? She tried her best to go the extra
Don't get me
mile.
wrong. Listen, every morning, 6:30, my father would wake me up. 2 scrambled egg, 1 pack cream crackers, some Cersei tea or mint tea, and then I have to go to school with my lunch money. I go to school every single day,
I can imagine.
and I'm never hungry. The only time I'm hungry is when I don't want to eat food, because it was some Caesar rice that they all make a song. Hungry days in a sticky plate, want some Caesar rice in a sanitary plate. So it was at the time. I knew I was poor, but it wasn't something that to be ashamed of or anything. Because growing up, even at school, a lot of my friends wanted to come to my home, to come on the weekend, and they want to know, because I don't know, on the weekend I learned a lot. Like they always, I can't get any food until I get all the maths questions right. So math becomes like breathing. So I always excel. I'm always getting awards in math. And then upper school is physics, math and physics. So my friends they always want to help and stuff.
So did you saw yourself being where you are now, this wonderful lady? Did you saw yourself when you were a child, knowing that you would grow to be such a wonderful lady?
Well, not in Christ.
Not in Christ, okay.
Not in Christ. To be honest, I never knew anything about coming to church.
Oh.
It was more to the Rastafarian side.
Okay, so you were a Rasta back then?
Not really, but
Oh,
I knew a lot.
Okay.
And listened to a lot of Sizzler and stuff like that.
But you don't seem like that kind of person, though.
No, not at all.
You don't seem like that kind of person. Who or what was your inspiration? What inspired you, though?
But then, it was actually, I saw what was happening around me, and I read a lot of books.
Yeah.
And always saying, but if these stories, they can be true. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to get as much education to see if I can break what is happening, because I wanted to see what was beyond my community, my surrounding. There had to be more to life than justice. So it's just reading the books and knowing that there is something else out there, otherwise I'm just being poor.
So how was it being in sin before you got saved? How was it out there?
Man of God, before I got saved, I thought I was good, and I never saw.
You
to be
were
honest,
perfect and dandy and everything.
I cursed, but not to an extent. I didn't do anything wrong. I hardly go to parties. The most parties I've been to is when I was in Cuba, university. And that was it. So
I thought, I think if my memory serves me well, when I was interviewing your husband, he said that he was this kind of party guy, and this bad person, and this everything and whatever. But to me, it seems like it's two different persons right here. You understand?
Right. So I remember when because my husband, when I met him, he was like, "Oh, want to marry you and want to go to church." And I said, "Want to that man? There's something wrong with me. I come to about marrying and go to church." So he was the first one that keeps pushing it at me. But I remember when I got pregnant with my daughter, my first child, and my world changed. I hit rock bottom, and that was when I started to search, you know, because you know, you're alone now, and I'm thinking and I'm saying there has to be something else to life.
Yes.
And I started to visit a lot of different churches. And I remember a friend of mine, she said to me, "Why you not get baptized? You know, smoke, you know, drink, you know, go party, you know, do certain things. So why you not just get baptized?" You understand? And that was when me and my husband, we started to, you know, think about it seriously, and we said, okay, the baby's about to be born, and then we went to church. The church that I was going to get baptized in, every Sunday I said to my husband, "Baby, then call altar call and go." And then I went to visit my friend church up by Greater Grace, and they called altar call, and my husband hold me this Sunday now, so I couldn't escape. And went up there and he gave his life back to God, and I accepted Christ right there. So that's when my journey started, just as well as my daughter, 9 years.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. That's a long time. So, being a Christian now, have you ever faced any? What are some of the criticism that you have gone through?
Oh, you know, people laugh at you and say, "Oh, you get brainwashed. If you're a smart girl, you take up something dumb."
Well, so they're saying that being a Christian it is very dumb.
Yeah, because we take up this Jesus thing, and who is Jesus, you know? Because the person that you know, because I'm still in the same community that I grew up in, and you know, the persons that you know, they're still in that headspace, you know, they're more towards a certain thing than to accept Jesus.
Okay. So you're saying it is better being saved than being unsaved?
Most definitely.
Most definitely. I definitely have to agree, So what are some of the hurts that you have gone through? Tell us one hurt that you have gone through, the hurt that you have gone through in church.
In church? Well, to be honest, my husband said that I'm a bit selfish. And it's because I just come to church, I go to the front, and I worship, and when church over, I leave. It takes me years to basically know the persons in church. And so I don't really get church hurt, so to speak. You understand?
Okay,
so
I well, your husband was saying the same thing. He hasn't got many hurts before in church. I think he said that they use those as stepping stones.
So I've heard persons talk about it, and I've seen stuff, but you know, the only thing that really had, you know, touched me a particular way was I was working with my former pastor and his daughter. She was my supervisor. But you see, in church, she's an amazing person. But as my boss, it was a different person, and I could not see through it, because I'm always of the opinion that you're supposed to be the same person, a man in all seasons. You're not supposed to put on different hats. I'm not supposed to be Sister Frederica at church, and at work I'm Mrs. McLean, and outside the road to persons me are Poochie. You understand what I'm saying? I must be the same person.
Definitely.
Right.
Yes, as I'm saying, you know, for those persons who are listening, you know, and who are going through the same struggle, same trauma, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to share, you know, and listen to Sister McLean, and also spread the news, as I often say, because you don't know who who is going through the same situation that you may be going through, who is going through the same situation and need to listen to something to overcome.
That's
You understand? Because a lot of persons out there, even unsaved, they always tend to say, I don't know what some of these Christians are going through, and I would love to hear some experience that some of them have gone through, so that, when we are ready to come inside church, then we will know what to do. But I want to tell somebody that as old people would say, my Waterloo or your Waterloo won't be the same. You understand? You may go through a different scenario, and it may be the same, but your way of crossing it may be different from my way. You understand? So at the end of the day, we need to hear about your testimony, your past, your this, your that, so that I can know what to do when the time comes. You understand? So at this time, I'm going to ask you to share a little testimony, of what your journey was like, or what you encountered being a Christian. Just a short testimony.
Okay, so growing up, as I say, I was ignorant to Jesus and salvation. And I remember when I graduated and I came home, because I always had the notion that once you're educated, you're automatically going to be rich. And I remember I gained some friends along the way, and I started to speak proper English that persons thought I was from uptown.
Okay.
And I was very cocky, and I used to, have this thing about me, because I believe you speak a certain way, you walk a certain way, and and then things changed.
Yeah.
And I met my husband, and I got pregnant, and my world changed with that pregnancy. And I was left alone. As I tell you, I hit rock bottom, and I was saying, God, I just wish me dead. And I remember one night I was crying because my husband was not here at the time. I couldn't deal with him, and we weren't baptized, or we weren't married at the time. And I remember one night I was crying because I always crying. I was crying at night because I moved from wanted to commit suicide. And then I'm crying and say, Lord, send an answer. Then I'm saying, but my daughter must be a superstar. Why? My first pregnancy at the age of 28, and I'm going through so much. And I remember one night my husband was at a party with his nephew, and he came around there and he said, listen, babes, I love you. You're the only thing that matters. And at the moment I say, what? I've been asking God for a prayer. So this is my prayer. And my husband encouraged me to give my life to God. And when I found salvation, it was different. And I'm not exaggerating. I know a lot of Christians say, oh, salvation this. And it's overrated. No, man of God. When I went to Greater Grace Temple, and remember at that time I was alone in this world, and me and my husband, I met my mentor, and my mentor, Minister Kirk, he took me and my husband as family. We went to Christmas dinner together. He started teaching us the word, and let me tell you, no man of God, my world changed drastically. I got a job. I was now married, because I got married a couple months after, and then I started to learn about this relationship with God, and I swear, and I say, God, I will never step outside of salvation. I don't see anything I don't see anything that can make me go on the other side, because there is nothing sweeter than what I'm experiencing with God.
Understand.
A lot of time me and my husband have disagreement, and I say God, and I go to God, and it automatically solves itself, because guess what happened? With God as the head of our lives are just different, man of God.
That's right, wonderful.
So I have had a different quality of life, and I'm not talking about money. It is just different.
The encounter with God and salvation.
Exactly, and because of the structure with Him as the head, and then my husband, and then my children. It is just amazing. So I'll tell anybody out there listening, it is not overrated, it is not a played out cliche, but salvation is the best thing you can ever find.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You hear that, everybody? Salvation is the best thing you can ever find. And I definitely have to agree with that, of course. You understand? Because, I mean, the Bible says if it's only in this life we have hope, then we are men most miserable. You understand? And I want to know, I want to die having a lively hope, that I'm dead and don't have no hope at all. You understand? And salvation is the only thing that brings hope, after death. You understand that you shall live again. You understand? But you know, to trot that road is gonna be hard. You have to face a lot of things. It's not gonna be smooth, it's not gonna be easy. You understand? I know a lot of persons get saved because they will say, why is it that, you know, being out there partying, doing sinful things, it's so easy. You understand? But to live a Christian life or to get saved, it is so hard to make that step.
Well, you know, no man cometh unto the Lord unless his spirit draw them. So that's the first thing.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand? But you see, once that spirit draw you, a lot of people always say, oh, we have to make sure that we now go backslide again. No, it's not your will. Come and let the Lord do his work.
That's
why
right.
you want to work for my God?
That's right. I definitely have to agree. And as I said before, Sister McLean, I really give God thanks for being here, you know, sharing that wonderful experience, and those wonderful experiences, of course, you know, and how you have overcome struggles, how you have overcome your situation, how you have overcome your hardships. You understand? Even though you were not that party girl as your husband, you understand? But I really give God thanks for you nonetheless. You know, and for those persons who have not yet even subscribed, please do so. You know, share, like, comment, feel free to do everything. And I said, God bless you wherever you are, and thank you for coming again. See you next time.